What is going on, everyone? Who wants to talk dirty? You know I do. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is to talk. And why not talk dirty if I'm talking, right? The good news is we won't be talking that kind of dirty. What we're gonna do is we're going to list the dirtiest cities in the United States. To be honest, I could have made 3 of these lists. How do you come up with a ranking like this, you ask? It is for the most part 5 or 7 different stats depending on which study you find. The 2 main stats are always water quality and air quality. Over the last decade or so, this has become more and more a factor when people and companies are relocating. I mean, really, it only makes sense. I don't want to live at a place where I could actually see what I'm breathing. I hate Pepsi-colored water too, like Flint, Michigan. And more good news, they aren't on this list. And that's because other than their water, which is horrific, they have a really nice place, the air quality, and they pick up their trash, stuff like that. That being said, here's my top 10 dirtiest cities in the United States. Number 10, Houston. Houston is hot, humid, and filled with airborne toxins. Houston houses the biggest number of oil refineries and chemical plants in the country, and it ranked quite high for ozone pollution by the American Lung Association. Sounds like a party to me. They ranked 11th in the nation for ozone and 14th for particle pollution, but they also have bad water quality, and that helped them make the list. So congratulations, Houston, you made it. Number 9, New York City, New York. New York City, back in the day, was known for being a garbage dump disguised as a city for the better part of, I'd say, the 70s and 80s. They have made some improvements since then, but by today's standards, they're still pretty gross in a lot of areas. High levels of pollutants from oil spills, industrial development, and chemical dumping have plagued New York City's groundwater forever. And that doesn't look like it'll be changing anytime soon. And of course, they have so many vehicles and traffic and everything else like that, you can imagine their air quality is pretty bad most days. Number 8, Stockton, California. First off, it's Stockton. If you've ever been to this gem of Central California, you don't need me to explain anything else except why isn't it number 1 on this list. But the problems here are lack of funding for cleanup, high ozone levels, and poor water quality due to farm runoff. If you ever find yourself driving down Interstate 5 in California with a flat tire near Stockton, ride the rim till you get to Sacramento. Number 7, Riverside, California. What words could you use to describe Riverside that haven't been used by a foul-mouthed trucker with Tourette's? Not many. Riverside is not some jewel in the California desert, no matter how they try and sell it to you on the city's website. The Riverside area has air quality some days that would make an environmentalist cry. Drinking water supplies have been contaminated by the manufacturing of rockets, motors, and explosives. That sounds fun. Number 6, Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio was so polluted back in 1969, the river caught fire. Not the boats on the river, not the docks or the piers, not just a bunch of driftwood. The water of the Cuyahoga River literally caught fire. I'm not exaggerating. The water of a river that runs through the middle of town was so polluted, the liquid that is normally used to put out fires was set ablaze. Only in Cleveland, people. Now, the river's gotten better since then, obviously, but still, that's something that a city never really recovers from. They have several manufacturing plants in the Cleveland area. Air quality and water quality are always in bad shape in Cleveland. And then on top of it, the city's pretty much broke, so it's almost like the trash doesn't get picked. I'm sure it gets picked up all the time, but it doesn't look like it. Or maybe it's just the people aren't getting the trash into the cans anymore or something. I don't know. Number 5, Modesto, California. Just a bit south of number 8 on this list, Stockton, California, you have Modesto. Modesto is just like Stockton environmentally, a little bit worse. These people finally beat Stockton at something besides people run over by tractors. This Central California city ranks 9th in the nation for ozone pollution, and it shoulders one of the country's highest unemployment rates. Water quality index is bad to boot. Yeah, Modesto sucks. Number 4, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Connecticut is one of the wealthiest U.S. states. That's a fact, but it's a misleading fact. They have a couple of super wealthy areas. The rest of the state kind of blows. Bridgeport isn't one of the super wealthy areas. As far as being dirty, it is, and it's due to several factors, including some local car part manufacturing that has led to contamination of the wetlands with the various toxic chemicals. Found in those contaminants include dangerous levels of lead and asbestos. Everyone's favorite, asbestos. If you ever been exposed to harsh amounts of asbestos, get yourself an attorney. Water and air quality are some of the worst in the country. Number 3, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you've never been to Philadelphia, let me help you out. don't ever live in Philadelphia. Besides not being able to get a decent slice of pizza, the city of brotherly love sits on the banks of the Delaware River, which has had a bunch of chemical refineries for several decades. It's also directly across the river from Camden, New Jersey, and that place should be leveled and turned into an international parking lot. Like, the whole city needs to be thrown away, like into the garbage. It's that bad. High concentrations of pollutants get released into the river water each year, and the area has nightmarish water quality because of this, as well as having an air quality index that should be the star of a Stephen King movie. Number 2, Bakersfield, California. About 2 hours north of Los Angeles, or 5 hours if you have traffic, you have Bakersfield, California. The main employment sector is the oil industry, so right there you know this place is polluted. Emissions from oil production facilities are largely the cause of these pollution levels. It's also where dudes with nice smiles and good jobs come from to marry your niece and move her across the country, away from her family, into a cold, cold climate. Not cool. Not cool. Bakersfield has far too many environmental issues to discuss in an 8 to 10 minute video. And number 1, Fresno, California. People really don't move to Fresno, at least on purpose. It's more like a place you end up, kind of like a crappy diner at 3 a.m. after drinking. The major industry is agriculture, which has led to pesticides and other harmful chemicals getting into the groundwater. Residents suffer from adverse health effects from the poor groundwater, and Fresno also has the 5th worst ranking for air particle pollution in the country. Congratulations, Fresno, you're doing great. These people get a double whammy of lead and pesticides in their water. They're only outdone in water quality by Flint, Michigan. Alright, so that's my list of the dirtiest cities in the United States. I hope you liked it. Don't forget all the links below. Leave me a comment, hit a like, hit a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.